Okay, so let's ask Claude to do something like make an ASCII bar chart of the first 10 primes in J. Okay, and now it's going to find the JMCP server that I've set up. So it's looking through its tools, a little slow. Hopefully it'll find that it has a J interpreter. There we go. So it says it wants to create a session. So we will allow. And it's going to ask you permission, and you can decide how much permission you want to give it. So, okay, so this is not J code, this is JSON. And you can see that it's this JSON text to the MCP server. So it wants to send this sentence here, which is actually quite a bit more than one sentence, isn't it? But let's see. So allow for this task. I didn't read that to see if it was correct or not. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, so here's the J code. Yep, primes is I10. This is a little weird. Then why would it? Oh, I see. This is actually using it to break each line into a separate thing. Okay, I'm not going to try and interpret this in here. But anyway, you can see that it worked. So this is actually the output from the interpreter. Yeah, okay, so we can see inside of here the actual response that got sent back. So you can see this actually came from the MCP server. So MCP is a JSON protocol that goes over the command line. So the way this works, first of all, I'm in Cowork. There's chat, there's Cowork and code. Chat is the normal, just talking to it. Cowork actually allows it to do interactive things on your computer. And one of them is to use the MCP server. Normally I use code, but I use the terminal code. This version of code runs in the cloud. It'll spawn a session, check out something in GitHub. And I don't think right now you're able to use MCP servers inside of this one. So I'll show you how to use it interactively in a coding session in a terminal later. But right now, this is just in the Cowork area. If you click on Customize under Cowork, you'll have, this is a little unintuitive, but you have skills and connectors. And under connectors, I have J programming language. It's enabled then. This is the version of J that I have. So this is all. I'm going to uninstall this and then show you how to set it up. Okay, so to install this from scratch, you're going to go to the Tangent Storm JMCP server on GitHub. You're going to click the latest release and pick this MCPB file. This is a Claude plugin or extension. So you're going to download this. And you used to be able to just drag and drop it onto Claude, but now what you do is this. In Claude, you click on your name, you go to Settings, you go to Extensions, Advanced Settings, click Install Extension, then you pick this MCPB file. It'll say J programming language, give you a nice warning. You say you want to install it. And then you click Configure and you can see something change in the background. You might have to click Enable or Disable. And then you need to change the path. This will probably be blank when you first install it. And you need to browse to the path that you installed the J in. So in my case, it's program files and then one of the J's. And then bin, you want the bin directory. Click Save. And then you should be ready to go. So go back to Cowork and ask it to do something. So for example, back in Cowork, I asked it to explain the following J line, which is the transpose of I55. And after a minute, it's able to do so. And you can see it didn't actually run it. It just kind of guessed what it was going to do. And it looks like it guessed right. But we can ask it to test it. Can you test that with the JMCP server? And you may have to grant permission the first time you run this. And when it's done, you can see it confirmed. But now you can click on this line and go back and check it. You can see that it found the MCP server. You can see the protocol being sent back and forth. You can see that it couldn't find a session, so it created a session. It evaluated a string. Interesting, it doesn't show what the input was. I'm kind of surprised. Usually it shows the input. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. But at least you can inspect some of the back and forth. So another way to use this is Claude Code in the terminal. If you go to the Claude Code website, and you can either download it for Windows or whatever, or use this command to install it. And now this is actually shelled into a different machine. So this is actually on a Mac now. Then I'm going to run Claude. After it's been installed, it asks me if I trust this folder. Yes, I do. My font is a little weird, so the cute little Claude guy doesn't show up right. I don't actually know what a good font is to use. Every font I try has something that doesn't quite work. If you go into that same directory, that was Ver demo. Then if you run Claude, so if you just type Claude, you get the interactive tool. And then if you run Claude MCP's list, it'll show you all the currently installed MCP servers. And these are the ones that come with it. I'm going to actually, I believe I have the JMCP repo checked out on this machine. I don't. Okay, so in that case, git clone git at github.com, engine storm JMCP. Okay, so you can download this MCPB thing is something that you drag into the desktop application, and then these are just the raw binary that does the protocol. But I think if you're going to work with this, you might want to just compile it yourself, especially if you're on a Mac or something, because you can extend it. You can tell Claude to add things to it. So I'm going to actually do this. You go into that directory, type make, it builds it, and then you should be able to run build JMCP. But you have to tell it where the directory is. So if I type, which for me it's called J, but that's actually this directory. So I want to copy path as applications this. I want the bin directory. So say J home equals this, and then build JMCP. All right, and so now we have the protocol running. Okay, I don't actually know how to invoke this the right way, but Claude will. Okay, now that we have this installed, we're going to say Claude MCP, and we're going to give it a name, so like JMCP. And then hopefully this will work. Let's see. And we're just going to copy this whole line with including the JHome. Let's see if that works. So now in Claude, you type /MCP. It does not have it there yet. So we're going to quit. We're going to run Claude again. And again, we're going to run MCP. And it has failed. Why did it fail? Okay, sorry, that was not the right way to do it, I guess. I guess we need to follow the instructions and actually configure it the right way. Okay, so I guess the configuration needs to be a separate thing. That's okay. So what we'll do is we'll just go into the Claude MCP directory, which we can see that it's configured here, and just in our, so I'll do emacs claude.json, and we need to look for MCP. MCP servers. Oh, I see. So each directory seems to have its own. Okay, so we'll look for bird demo. And we'll just put this in here. So we'll move the JHome part here. So lead to this. And then what was the trick? So JHome is that. So it's just a dictionary, JHome. And you can see that this has a few more settings than the bare minimum. It probably doesn't matter. So just go with whatever is there. And then, okay, so nothing is enabled, but we will see. So let's save that. And then over here, all right, so let's see if that fixed. Okay, so it doesn't, you do have to quit and start again every time. But of course, we need to put the entire path. So that would be, that'd be this. So revert it and then put this here. So the full path. All right, now, MCP, it took a little bit longer to start, and I think that's because it was running J. Okay, so now we can see the tools that it has available and so on. But write a cool one-liner program that shows off J. Claude Fable is unavailable. Okay, that doesn't matter to us. Oh, because I'm set to Claude. Okay. So we have to set the model to Yeah, whatever. Okay. Okay, so let's try that. Ask for permission. Civil Eratosthenes, okay, yes. Pascal's triangle, sure. We just ask, I usually just tell it, don't ask again. I believe I told this to run in a sandbox by default, so it should be safe, but don't trust me on that. Yeah, so that's how you would install it in the command line version. That's pretty much it, but I do want to show one other thing you can do that is not this particular JMCP server, but another way to use MCP to work with J. Okay, so one other option you have is to share a web browser with Claude. And so if you open up something like J ships with something called JHS, which is a web-based server. I say, okay, so you're going to allow this to access the network. It's going to run a server here. And we can now open that in a web browser. Click for interactive session. Okay, so we'll say I-1010. All right, and now this browser is my private browser. Like in Chrome, we have this Gemini button. You can say, show me the first 10 primes in J, and hopefully it'll try and do this. Okay, so I'll just tell it does is tell you how to do it, and actually type it into the page. And I think the answer is no, now that I think about it. Oh, okay. Oh, it does. Interesting. Okay, so let's go. It's taking a long time. Oh, look at that. Okay, so that worked. I was not quite expecting that to work. So Gemini is actually pretty good. But what I was going to say is that Claude does not have access to this tool. However, what you can also do is you can ask Claude to open a web browser for you. So again, in Cowork, I create a new task, and I believe this is built in. So can you open in a browser, in a shared browser session, and show me how to use HuMat? All right, so this doesn't know what J, like I haven't mentioned that I'm using J here. So maybe it remembers that I'm a J user. Maybe it knows what VMAT is. I don't know. But hopefully it's going to find a tool that has to do with browsers. Yes, so for browsers. Oh, okay, so this is not, okay, so this is built in, but you have to install this extension. That's annoying. So one last thing I wanted to show was Playwright. This is a tool for browser automation for like testing and whatnot. But it has an MCP server, and once you have that installed, you can use it to talk to a shared web browser that you can share with your coding agent. You can read here how to install it, but I'm just going to skip past that and instead go right into a new Claude session. So Claude MCP list. This is Claude in the terminal. Running on my local machine. And you can see that I've installed Playwright. So now when I run Claude, I can ask it to go to this URL and open a shared browser. Open a shared Playwright MCP server, Playwright MCP window at this address. Okay, I'm not sure where that came from, but you can see I can interact with it now, and now we can ask it to do something. Show me a quick ViewMat demo. I haven't told it this is J. I haven't told it anything about that, so hopefully it's going to pick up from context what that is and figure out what ViewMat is. Figure out that it's a J terminal, and I see the J terminal. I need to click to activate it. Anyway, so there you go. And you can see that, again, it's telling what the colors are, and it's not just guessing this. It actually looked at it by taking a screenshot. You can click on the actual lines here in your terminal, and it'll show you, again, the traffic that was going back and forth. And here you can see it. It can send JavaScript and send messages to go fill in that piece of text or whatnot. So this is a really great way to use any application that runs in a browser, and also to debug any kind of like web application that you might happen to be working on, which you can make in JHS. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I think that's it. And I guess the main thing I want you to take away from this is that giving the AI any way to check its work will make it much more effective and much less prone to hallucination. And of course, I showed this with Claude, but the same technique of using MCP works with pretty much any of the agents, whether it's Codex, Google Gemini, Grok from XAI. They all support MCP. They can all do the exact same things. It's just, you just have to read the docs for your particular agent and see how to configure it. Okay, I hope that helped. Thank you for watching. See you next time.